If someone were to ask you, what do you stand for? Could you answer that without any hesitation? Truth is, most of us can't. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through a simple reflection exercise to identify your 5 leadership non negotiables, the values and principles that you'll lead from no matter what. By the end, you'll have total clarity on what you believe in, what you'll fight for, and how to lead with conviction at work, at home, and in your community. If you're new here, hi, my name is Corey Logaitis, otherwise known as Corey Lowe. I'm a professional keynote speaker, high performance coach, as well as author of the upcoming book, The 5 Overwhelm Culprits. And I help high performers, especially women, lead with clarity and confidence without losing themselves in the process. This topic came to me after watching a YouTube clip of an 18-year-old at a town hall meeting speaking to a senator. And in the meeting, he asked the question to the senator. He says, "Who will lead us to fix our community's problems?" And the senator didn't even take a beat. He looked right at the 18-year-old and said, "You will." That moment in that video hit me hard because it's true. Think about it. Leadership starts when you decide what you stand for and what actions you're willing to take to uphold it. All right. So today I'm going to walk you through 5 easy steps to reflect on your core values as well as what you stand for in your leadership. So step one is reflect on your core values. So many of us don't have core values. I actually remember when I was at a crossroads after many years, I had just gotten a divorce. I was in the process of changing my career to working for myself. And I really had no idea what end was up. And I remember I was working with a coach who had asked me, all right, well, what are your core values? And I couldn't even answer that question at this time. And this is the same process that I did. I'm going to be teaching you. So first up is you start with a simple list of potential values because sometimes we can't name what we feel without the words for it. So it could be things like integrity, or you value empathy, freedom, balance, creativity, growth. I know for me in particular, my core values, which really haven't changed a whole lot, are family, health, career, and travel. These are all things near and dear to me that I love. So don't overthink it. Right? You're going to go through, you're going to find a list, you're going to circle the ones that make you feel something, the ones that describe who you are at your core when you are at your best. Now, if you're stuck on where to start, you could check out my free 5-year vision worksheet. This actually includes a list of 105 different core values that you could choose from. Step number 2 is to identify what you will no longer compromise. So ask yourself, what am I no longer willing to tolerate or sacrifice? So for some folks, it may be no longer tolerating overworking at the expense of family. I know this was a big one for me when I was going through this phase. At the time, I was commuting over 20 hours a week. I never got to see my son. It was in direct opposition to what I valued. So that's what it looked like for me. For others, it may be staying quiet when something violates your principles. A great example is I believe in gender pay equity. That's a big one for me. So anytime I get asked to speak at especially a Women's History Month event, and I'm told to do it for free, and it's for exposure and this and that, I refuse to stay quiet anymore. I speak up and I say, "No, I'm sorry, I will not speak at your event because I believe in pay equity. And the number one way for women to get that pay equity is to start getting paid for when they speak at events." Right? It violates my principles. So I no longer stay quiet for it. So these boundaries help define your non negotiables just as much as your ideals. So think for yourself, what do I want to protect through my values, as well as what do I refuse to compromise on when it comes to them? Step number 3 is to connect your values to action. Leadership isn't about slogans. It's about action. It's about what you actually do about what you believe in. So for each value that you choose, I generally recommend choosing 4 to go off of. That's why it's the foundation for the 5-year vision exercise. But either way, for each one that you choose, write one way that you choose to actively live it. So for example, if you truly value growth, maybe you take one course or read one new book every quarter. That's the way that you show up for yourself and demonstrate you living that principle. Or maybe you value empathy. And for you, that's checking in with your team weekly, even when you're super busy. So your actions are going to prove your leadership well before your title does. And step number 4, you're going to narrow it down to your top 5 non-negotiables. Pick 5 values or principles that define who you are as a leader. These are your leadership non-negotiables. These wind up becoming your compass for everything, for your decisions, your boundaries, and the impact they ultimately want to make. Which brings me to step number 5, which is revisiting and reaffirming. Leadership evolves. You're going to revisit this list every single year. I personally love to do my own when I'm doing my annual goal setting and planning. I usually do it in December of every year, but you do what works great for you. So you revisit your list every single year. And as your circumstances and influences change, your non-negotiables might change too, but your core values will ultimately stay steady. And ultimately, that's what makes you a trusted, consistent, and magnetic leader. So I'd love to know, what is one value that's a non-negotiable for you right now? Go ahead, drop it in the comments, send me a DM. I'm most active on LinkedIn. I would absolutely love to see what matters most to you. And if you want to take this reflection further, I've created a free worksheet. It includes my 105 top personal values, a full list of them, plus the instructions for my 5-year vision exercise. It's the same tool I use with all of my coaching clients. And it'll help you identify what truly matters to you and then turn those values into a clear vision for where you are going next. So you can go ahead and grab it using the link below in the show notes. Again, it's completely free. My gift to you. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully you found this valuable, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out The Next Step with Corey Lowe. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend, subscribe, and leave a review. Together, we'll transform overwhelm into action, and we'll keep taking the next step towards confident leadership. See you next time.